So, inspired by Jeremy Fielding's video on all the things you can do with one of these treadmills, I looked online and the equivalent of Craigslist for my area and found a free one. So, we're going to take it apart and take all the good stuff out. The motor might go toward making a plastic shredder, and we'll see how the rest goes.
Single name at the center, rendering code.
So we've managed to take off a whole bunch of the parts. Some of it's been slow going because unfortunately the Allen wrenches we have don't fit some of the Allen wrench holes. Therefore we've had to get creative, and by creative I mean grabbing them really hard with pliers and then pulling.
I think we should punch it.
Do you think punch it?
A lot.
Much punching.
Much punching. Ah! Holy crap, it worked.
Are you serious?
It loosened just a little.
The trouble with this thing is that the Allen wrench doesn't exactly fit. It is so close it's painful. So there's a trick that I learned that actually helps with this. What you do is you take a piece of rubber band, place it over the hole. Then what you do is you layer so after layering the rubber band over the hole, you shove the tool in and then give it a turn, and it will actually turn the thing that it didn't quite fit in. This works really nice if you've stripped out a screw. So, funny story, where just a moment ago we were struggling with the Allen wrenches not fitting, we then realized that we actually have a second set. And the trouble was we were trying to use metric ones when this is an imperial. Whoops. So I guess the moral of the story is know your tools.
Or double check which tools you have.
So this is the thing more than anything else that we want from this project. This is a DC motor that is 2.2 horsepower. Now, that is a very powerful motor, and the fact that it's a DC motor makes it extra special because it has permanent magnets inside it, so if I turn it manually, it'll start making electricity, which is really, really cool. This is something that we could use for making a dynamo, like a human-powered generator, or we could use this as the motor for the precious plastic shredder, which is something that I've been thinking a lot about. Anyway, so we're going to remove that. This is the linear actuator, this is a transformer, and then this is some kind of circuit board with ginormous capacitors. We'll find a use for it. This video, because it's also partially so I can figure out how the wires go back together. We've got wires coming off of the motor, they come around down here, and they connect into the board like so. Then right here, we just barely disconnected this guy from the place where he was connected here. Here, we disconnected this from this. This guy was disconnected from this. And then this, which I think is a speed controller, is at this point free-floating except for removing that screw there.
As you dig through lots of old machines like this, or just broken ones, you can find lots of raw materials that are actually pretty valuable, like aluminum, or in this case, copper. So if you just dig out the copper and get it by its own, you sell it to a refinery and make quite a bit of money. My uncle became stupidly rich by just finding bits of copper in old machines and efficiently pulling them out.
Did you, you can kind of think of that as a form of mining, like modern age mining.
Yes. It's no longer in the ground, but it's still around.
Yeah. That's cool.
This time I'm not going to put my finger in front of the thingamajiggy. Alright, so what do we have?
So if you survey this area, this is the reason why the person was giving away the board. It had broken in half. And so the treadmill was then useless as a treadmill. But all the rest of it is supposedly still good, including this delicious motor. And so we're going to remove this last plastic panel. And then, 3, 2, 1. We should have better access to these last bolts that are holding it in place. Can't even tell you how exciting this is. Go.
This is so cool!
Okay, so this is part one of the two things that are super exciting about today. The first part is the power represented by this thing. It can power other stuff. And the second thing is also something that can power other stuff. But not in the same way. Come here. this is the treadle for an old Singer sewing machine. And the beauty of this thing, and the projects I have in mind for it, are a half dozen projects that only use human power. Again, this is that idea of appropriate technology. For some things, this is perfect. For other things, that is exactly enough. So it started out as exercise equipment, and funny enough, even in this very primitive form, it can still be exercise equipment.
No, meditation equipment. Just ignore the shaking of my arms.